Now, the race is on to elect the next Secretary General of the United Nations to replace Ban Ki-moon, whose term ends this year. The UN Security Council will hold its latest closed-door poll. 9 names are being touted as a possible replacement. Let's talk more about this. I'm joined now by Ian Wiliams, who's a veteran UN correspondent for the Deadline Pundit media consultancy firm. Ian, good to have you with us. It seems quite a long and convoluted process, and I guess that there's lots of deals going on behind closed doors, lots of horse trading. Does the actual candidate matter as much as his ties to a particular country?
Well, this year, I think almost uniquely, the quality of the candidate does matter more than usual. But when you described it as a Secretary General's race, I think it's almost, let's say, it's a very odd race. It's almost like a tortoise race. They take so much time about it. And the rules keep changing. It's like something from Alice in Wonderland. So this straw poll today is the last under the old system, in which we don't know whether it's one of the permanent 5 voting one for or against candidates, or one of the sort of less consequential temporary members. So from now on, it gets really
it's quite complicated, isn't it? Because you can get members who encourage or discourage, and also down the road, any candidate could still be blocked by one of the permanent members.
Oh, in case you want it more complicated, it's still possible for another candidate to turn up. And there's been a lot of pressure and rumors that Bulgaria will drop their candidate Irina Bokova if she gets too discouraged at this result, and replace her with Kristalina Georgieva, who is presently Vice President of the European Union. That's going to throw the whole thing into a whole new perspective, of course, because Bokova has been one of the sort of top 3 candidates so far.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was going to ask you, is there an obvious front-runner? A lot of people touting Antonio Guterres, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, but I guess it's still an open field right now, isn't it?
He's a clear front-runner, both in terms of positive support and negatives on him. He's only got 2 opposed, or discouraging, I should say, not necessarily opposed. You can discourage somebody without necessarily vetoing them. And when it comes to it, though, the question is going to be the permanent members. So all this transparency, the 6 months of hoardings and hustings and public meetings, boil down in the end to the 5 permanent members from 1945 who will be able to, one of them will be able to outvote the other 14 members in terms of blocking somebody. But the difference this time is there's been such unprecedented transparency and openness that it would be really difficult for one of the permanent 5 to veto any candidate who has been shown, on the hustings and on the meetings to be really competent. So they're looking for other reasons, like Vladimir Putin has suddenly become a convert to feminism because he wanted the Bulgarian woman. And Russia, which has always decried the East European blocs, has suddenly decided that it's East Europe's term. Similarly, each of the others will find expedient excuses to cast their veto and look relatively sort of benign and disinterested. But, we have to see, for example, the deals that the Argentinian foreign minister seemed to be trying to pull with the British over the Falklands, which, of course, has nothing at all to do with the fact that the British have a veto.
It's utterly fascinating. I would love to discuss this with you more, Ian, but we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you very much indeed for trying to shed some light on the whole of that complicated process.